on Beats Production.
The best live stream in the city. The Signal 27 Show. Signal 27 Show. The best live stream podcast in the city.
You remember me?
How you doing tonight?
Doing well, officer.
Can I see your driver's license, registration, and insurance, please?
Of course. My license is right here, my wallet. It's all right, son. You remember the night in July?
Hands up! Hey! Wait! Put the phone down! Put that phone! Sorry, it's a phone! It's a cell phone! It's just a cell phone!
You knew he was unarmed.
Get to the car and put your hands in the air! Officer, please, he's just a kid!
You pointed your gun at him.
Okay, get out of the car, son. Easy.
He pulled the trigger.
Put the phone away! Put the phone away!
The grand jury determined that no probable cause exists to file any charges against Officer Randall.
This is my son. This is my little boy. You took that from me. The world took that from me. Today we make that right. Hear me when I say this, because I'm only going to say it once. Don't stop filming.
You should just give up now.
Why are we the only people in this country that are expected to do things without violence?
I didn't mean to kill your son!
What you did.
I did what I was trying to do!
I just want justice. That's all I want. This is your jury. The deciders of your fate. Today, you will be tried for the murder of my son. You scared? Are you afraid?
What's going on, y'all? It's the Single 27 Show. I want to thank you all for tuning in. You see what today's topic is. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to One Bridge Connection. They had an outstanding event yesterday that I was a part of. I emceed their comedy event. Well, it wasn't a comedy event. It was more like a mixture of comedy, artistry, poets, and for a couple hours you were able to just get away and listen to some good stuff that will uplift and upfeel you. You know, upfeel you. You know what I'm saying?
Don't
I guess
say
that's
that backwards, please.
Upfeel up you. Yeah, you told me not to say it backwards. I'll be damned. You know what I'm saying?
Fast
But
backwards.
nonetheless, they had an outstanding event yesterday that I was a part of, and I suggest if you are in the Jacksonville area, go ahead and patronize the One Bridge Connection that's at Regency Square Mall. They're doing some great things over there, rebuilding and uplifting the black businesses that'll be coming back over to Regency. So, with that being said, as you can see to my left, you see none other than the king of conscious comedy. That's Mr. David Emmanuel. Go ahead, David. Put up the fist.
We streaming everywhere.
Everywhere.
If you don't share, somebody might punch you. It won't be me, goddammit, but somebody will.
Well, he the one putting up the fist, so you know what it is.
I'm stretching my knuckles. Skin get tight around my knuckles and shit.
Around this way. You know what I'm saying?
No violence over here.
Oh, yeah. And then to my far right, you see him. He's there taking Chip's spot. That is none other than the Fabler, Ed the Fabler comedian.
There you go, dropping names again.
Oh, hey, that's your name, right?
It's the Fabler.
It's the Fabler. That's it. You don't want to know his real first name or his real last name. Another one of our guests, well, two of our guests are out. Author and officer Lakita Gordon. She is at work. She'll get here when she get here. And Chip, he has some things going on with him, but he's out today as well. Y'all keep them in your prayers. Whoever you pray to, keep them there. Hello. You know what I'm saying? So nonetheless, you see what we're talking about. It's American Skin. Y'all saw the preview that we went on ahead and put up. The preview was by, the movie was supposed to come out last year, but it didn't. For whatever reason, it didn't come out last year. And supposedly it's supposed to be coming out this upcoming year. And it brings a lot of things to the table. First of all, the actor is the same actor that played, what's the guy's name? Nat Turner. He played Nat Turner. And they, and we know who they are. The media brought up some negative stuff about him just because he's playing a role where he's killing the oppressors.
Well, he was one of the writers of the film too, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And then the movie got picked up or bought when he was played at like a film festival. And then, of course, it went out to everyone to see. And I guess the media didn't like that. So, before you get any kind of notoriety as a black person, they try to defame and bring up some negative stuff about you. Just like when black people get killed, they don't ever say this black person who was murdered had straight A's in school. What they say? The first thing he said, he smoked weed.
He smoked weed. Mm-hmm.
He was a weed head. They bring up the negative parts of you. You know what I
He
mean?
pissed on the cat.
Right. You know what I'm
Y'all
saying?
ever see that movie Blue Hill Ave?
What's that?
It came out at the what's my man that played G Money?
Oh, you talking about $5? I don't know his
New
name.
Jack City?
Yeah.
Light skinned dude. Kind of
Yeah, that was on House of Pain.
Yeah. Okay.
He did another movie similar to New Jack City where he was the drug kingpin. And this dude was like an honor student in high school. He started like selling for the mafia. He got too big for his britches, according to them. He came back and got him because he was smart.
See, and
They never tell the real life stories of kids that actually do that because there are some out there. I'm not saying glorified drug dealing,
But if you think about it, I know the cards always been played against us anyway. So when you look at stories like, what's the name, Jay-Z, who says it even in his rhymes that he was selling crack or whatever, but he just never got caught doing it. Sometimes that's like the only way out or the only avenue because you can't get jobs in certain areas. Back in the day, you couldn't get a job because of how your hair was. You know what I mean? Or how
back in the day.
What?
Still,
Well, I mean, they're making it legal
can't even go to school with your hair a certain way.
Right.
Well, that's true, but they're making it illegal. It's sad that you got to make it illegal or make a law saying that you can't hold a person's hair against them when it grows naturally that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
My naturally curly hair does not stop information from getting into my brain, being processed, and putting it back out where I'm smart enough to make a product to make your company money. That's stupid.
And I actually had to. That's why I started hashtag I want film in my city. I went on an audition and the lady asked me was I willing to cut my hair for the
Hell
film.
no.
So I'm like I already I got to make my own films because I don't want to have to be doing things to get in the film.
but were they paying you or was this
Well, we didn't even get to the money talking part because when she asked me that, I responded that depends on how much money they're paying.
okay?
And she never got back with me after that.
Oh, well, because if it's an independent film, they shouldn't have the right to ask you to do anything that will change your appearance for the long term. Like I just did a short film, and the only thing that they asked me to do was try to make myself look younger. They didn't ask me to cut my beard, just dye it, and I didn't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? But I like my beard, so if it had came down to the parts where, well, listen, we need you to cut your beard, I might have cut it because my beard grows back fast,
Right.
but that's different than your hair. And once you what was the guy who was wrestling for a school, and they was going to disqualify him from wrestling because of what his hair was like. So they
the
had
kid
to
with the
cut,
dreads and they cut him
and
live while he was wrestling.
Exactly.
Man,
Right. So
hope
when
his
when
parents
stuff
sue.
like that when stuff like that comes up against us because of how our hair, there's certain things that we just need to have that's just for us and by us, unfortunately. Just like the church. Y'all heard about the church that was up there in Minnesota? Well, it's a white only group that worship Norse gods, right? And they just got approved, I think, 5-3 to purchase an old church in Minnesota so they can go ahead and do their worship and to their Norse gods, whatever. But it's whites only. So, but you don't hear any kind of backlash. There you go again, David, kicking the camera. You don't hear any backlash to that as far as them wanting to do things for themselves in their own way. I don't have a problem with them doing it that way as long as it don't affect me. But the other way around should be like we should be able to do our own thing on our end, and y'all shouldn't be worried about what we doing on this end. Right. If it ain't affecting you or taking money out of your mouth or killing you and your families, then you should leave well enough alone. But it has not been that way for us. You know what I mean? What is it? You had the Black Panther Party who only garnished weapons for protection. And to tell you the truth, from my understanding, they never really had to use them, but it was just a show of force. They got so scared because of the show of force alone that they changed the laws in California because of that. So
and Milwaukee.
And what they was in
Especially
Milwaukee?
Yeah.
What happened in Milwaukee?
The headquarters.
Oh, is it headquarters? So that's my only thing. That's my only gripe about it. Now, as far as the movie goes, it brings up a lot of things. If you saw the trailer, you saw where the Caucasian police officer pulled over a father and a son. Father got out. The other officer took care of them took care of the father, but the father was saying to the other officer that he's just a boy. That's his son. And the son had a camera in his hand recording the entire thing. So the only thing I can get the gist of it, because I think Ed didn't want to go into looking at the movie. I mean, talking about the movie.
I talked about what we talked about before.
Mm-hmm. And once he pulled the camera off for whatever reason, the son ended up getting killed. And then you see retaliation. And he specifically said one thing that kind of shook me is like, why are we the only people that have to, what was it, approve? He said something.
Forgive our oppressors.
Yeah, why are we the only ones that have to be the ones to forgive our oppressors when we're being shot and killed in the street? But then you have people that are up there, and what is it? I think that was Milwaukee too, where they had guns walking up to their Capitol.
No, that was Michigan, man.
Was it Michigan?
Yeah, and then they kidnapped the governor, tried to kidnap the governor afterwards. But those groups, and I'm going to say something racial, please forgive me. I have white family, so don't get on me. Those group of Caucasian males, they're never listed as terrorists. I don't care if it's domestic. They're not radical Christian terrorists. They were just a group of people, so the media and everybody says. What's the difference between what they did and what a radical Islamic terrorist does?
Absolutely nothing. Don't they usually say that that the military is, thank you.
Militarization?
Militarization.
Well, we could drop the big words today. It's cool.
Okay. Thank you. Who is like God? That's on Periscope. I appreciate you. It was Michigan. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So my question to this is like, what do you think is going to happen to the main character in this story, as far as like real life, as well as how the movie is portrayed going to happen? What do you think the outcome is going to be?
First of all, I did not know this was a real life story. I just thought it was a reenactment of events culminated together.
Well, it's not life. It's not real life. I'm speaking in reference to like, we already know what happened to him as far as how the media crucified him for making the Nat Turner movie, with him being part of Spike Lee's movie. What do you think is going to happen?
Spike Lee.
Oh, you think because Spike Lee?
Yeah, because Spike Lee is basically giving the finger to the system from day one with his movies.
Okay.
So, he's on the list. But his movies are so powerful, they can't really blackball him. But they can screw with his artists. But this gentleman has told two very special messages. And I didn't know until I watched the preview that he actually brought this idea to Spike Lee to create this movie. It wasn't a Spike Lee joint.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, it was his story. When he brought it to Spike, Spike was like, oh, we're just going to do a quick 5-minute video. He's like, no, I want a full movie.
I wonder what's preventing them from releasing it because it's so strong today. Yeah, but you got new avenues now that they are realizing that you can upload the movie directly to Amazon.
You could.
But
if Spike don't want to work with them because it's under a Spike Lee joint. So, Spike is either blackballed, quietly banned. Hey, I'm not getting enough money from this source. We can't do it. Let's just wait till the theater's open. I mean, it's politics involved here.
Well, I don't mind going to the movies to actually see the movie.
I put this mask on right here and I'm gone.
I'm gonna go see the movie because of of what it's portraying. I've always said that, like, an eye for an eye. Police will respect you one of two ways. If they're forced by the government to respect you, you don't see them going off killing white folks needlessly, just like they do, or they at least show us on the news how much they kill black folks. At any given time, we have to be the ones that are going to be submissive and quiet and keep our calm when the officers are the ones that's garnishing the weapons, right? So I always said that it's always good to have an eye for an eye situation. Cops will stop killing you if their life can be affected after the fact. So that's all I'm saying.
And then we're going to get the Blue Lives Matter crybabies.
No, it's not even about the Blue Lives Matter crybabies. Because honestly, if they govern themselves appropriately or accordingly, this wouldn't be the situation. It's like, for an example, if I looked at that correctly, the way the movie was, as far as the trailer, if I was the other officer,
the first officer on the scene.
Right, I would have corrected the second officer.
Exactly.
For pulling out the gun and all of that. You know what I'm saying? You need officers like that, but you have like gangs that are within the prisons or within the police department sometimes due to corruption and stuff like that. So you don't really want to go against them because they might be high inside that particular department. Next thing you know, when you need help, they won't show up to help you out. And that's what'll screw you over.
You know what's really effed up? I'm going to sidestep this movie for a second and come back to it. If you're here in Florida and you've heard of a city called Lake City, Florida, it's west of Jacksonville, about an hour and a half, hour 45 off of I-10. The entire police department was under FBI investigation about 10 years ago for racial discrimination. It got to the point where they were forced to hire one minority, and they actually did two to quiet everybody down. They hired an Asian young man and a black young man. While those officers are on duty, they never messed with them. While they were off duty, the next shift after theirs would follow them home daily. They even burnt crosses in front of the Asian dudes and the black dude's house. And it was their fellow officers in uniform setting the crosses on fire. What kind of shit is that? And you doing that to your own officers?
They doing it because they have to do it. I think, honestly,
it's code.
Racism runs so deep within the culture of Caucasian people for their hatred of people who are just being brown. I have yet to hear. I'm willing to sit down with a legitimate person who looks across from me and hates me specifically because I'm brown, and legitimately have a conversation with him because I would like to know why. I was looking at, you get bombarded by commercials all the time, and I was looking at YouTube, and a commercial came up, said the number one question that's being asked on Google and all of these other search engines is why. People want to understand why or know why. If there is a white person that's out there who can articulate the reasons why you hate black and brown people, I am willing to listen. I don't care if you hate me or not. I want to understand the reason why. Why did you come to this particular decision? Because we aren't necessarily the ones who are the ones that are hurting people. I mean, we go against ourselves, but even when white folks are amongst other white folks, there's that white on white crime aspect. But the question is, are you being brainwashed by the TV to always see black folks doing vile things? Have you ever noticed that black folks are always called the negative things when you all do the same things that black folks do, but you all aren't called the same thing? For an example, there was a riot that was on television. The news outlets never called the individuals a crowd of thugs and thieves that are rioting. They said these are students who are outside. They're just being childish. They have rioted and things like that. But if there was a situation where black folks were doing the exact same thing, they say these thugs, these bandits, these hooligans, they give us negative images of ourselves. And then you wonder why you don't like us because of what's being programmed into you. So that's my own thing. I'm not a person who hates anybody. I've always said there's an eye for an eye. If you come in my house and you white or black, you destined to get shot. I don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying? But if I see you out in the street and you're doing something stupid, if you're black or white, I'm going to check you on it. But at the same time, you have to look at it like this. Why do you think the way you think? And do you even care to even ask the question why you think the way you think about black and brown people?
Social engineering. Once you get people in the mindset of something, they believe it. Just like some of the religious lies that we've been perpetrated upon us. Mm-hmm. I'm going to step off of that for a second. But when you get somebody to think a certain way, you can control them. You can control them to the point they don't know what you're doing because they're focused on this. As I typed in the comments, racism is just a tool of division because once you divide and conquer, people can't see what you're doing. You got them so busy fighting about the racism. You got them so worried about their poverty. You got them so worried about the hate. You got them so worried about the guns. You got them so worried about socialism. You got them so worried about communism. They're not focusing on the fact that big business or the person engineering all this is sitting back just making money.
Yeah, so how do you think they make money off of racism?
Oh, it's simple. We're sitting here making no money right now by talking about it. We're not focused on building a building. Excuse me, building a business. We're not sitting here talking about tax laws and how to get around them. We're not sitting here talking about how to buy land. We're not sitting here teaching people how to farm so they can make their own food and get off of the processed foods that the grocery stores are selling us. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about racism. They got us divided right now. Our focus needs to be on what's making us money and making us better. Racism, yeah, it exists. We cannot ignore it, but it's still a tool of division.
So how would you get beyond the racism to be able to do those things that you're saying? Because you already know that for anything that you got going on, they're going to try to bring something to you.
Yeah,
you know
of
what
course.
I'm saying? So
you start at an early age. Now, we blacks, especially in this movie, it'll start touching on this and how we have to train our children. When a police officer come by, stand still and comply. That ain't working no more. Well, shit, if complying don't work, we assed out, so you might as well fight back. Let's fight back with education first. Never hands first, never weapons first. Once those two fail, it's your choice on what you're going to do. Just don't do nothing illegal unless you really want to suffer the consequences of what's going to happen to you.
Right.
Sometimes a few people have to make that sacrifice. And martyr is a terrible word because sometimes people die when you're a martyr. But when you are the martyr, people will follow the message. Like Tupac said, I can't teach them if I'm not amongst them.
That is true. So you think was there any changes when Martin Luther King or Malcolm X died?
Tupac's had a song, ain't changes.
Yo, so my thing is like I feel like like you said, there's a way to fight back. I'm more of the violent type. I've always said that if anything was to happen to any of mine, there's going to be payback. But I'm calm and collective about it. I've never really said what I would do or how I would do it or who I would do it with. Unfortunately, it's the fact that sometimes working with your own, you got some scary niggas that will do it with you, but then snitch on you. Some people just don't know how to keep their mouth shut.
And it's 69 Humpty nose to tickle your rear.
You know what I'm saying? That's the sad part about it. It's like a lot of things that you want to do. I think that's what gets a lot of black folks caught up. Anyway, if you're gonna do something, do it by yourself. Or if you got something going on, you know what I'm saying? Don't mess around and get caught up in it. I mean, you get individuals that always want to get pumped up before they do something. Man, you got to get pumped up, or I need help with this, or this and this and this and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yo, if you was really going to do it, just do it.
Just do it.
Right.
No.
All of that talking is needless to say. I was looking at Training Day, and the whole purpose of Training Day at the end of the day was, he was a corrupt cop, but it was a black guy who ended up killing somebody in, in Las Vegas. And when he killed that person in Las Vegas, they gave him a time frame to make amends, to get that money to the people so that way they don't kill him.
And he said,
They did not care. No, he didn't. He ended up getting the money, but homeboy ended up taking the money, and he ended up trying to get out of town, but they jacked his ass up. But if you notice, they didn't care that he was a cop. They didn't. That's it. But you saw how they did it, though. I know it's a movie and all. All I'm saying is that how they did it to the ability so that they don't get caught. They pulled up in a vehicle
you
that
mean they
didn't
actually
have.
thought about it, formed a plan, an escape plan, had a backup plan, and didn't just go off emotion?
Well,
Right.
most of the time they are showing you the future. So this is bound to happen. They're just showing it to you now.
True that.
And they already sense the energy. They just want to control how it's going to happen.
But I don't think they're going to be able to control it. You see what they tried to do about, first of all, they was doing what you was talking about, Ed, trying to illegalize assault rifles. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying?
That's a money issue too, right there.
Right. But I mean, assault rifles is what people want.
We talk about the Second Amendment, that's the distraction. We talk about assault weapons, that's the distraction. The true thing you need to pay attention to is how much money are those gun companies making selling a military weapon to the public. Because there's more people in the public than there is in the military.
That is true, but it's only 650,000 assault rifles allowed in the United States. And so it takes about, if you can get an assault rifle that's a semi-automatic, that's about 12. Matter of fact, you can get a M&P that's about $600 or $700. And then you can get I think if you're getting it can go as high as close to $1,900 for semi-auto. If you are looking for military grade automatic weapons, it jumps up to like $12,000 to $20,000.
Okay,
just
so
because you can have it auto.
Let me hit you with another one. The liberals are going to take your guns from you. Subconsciously, you just heard them say, "Go buy a gun," before they can take it from you. Because once you get it, your grandfathered in. They can't take it from you.
That is
It's
true.
another thing about making money. It's all these subliminal thoughts, and they pushing you to spend and buy their product. It has nothing to do with liberal or conservative.
So my question is this, right?
Don't take your guns.
Who created the bump stock? Bump stock.
It was I actually knew that when the dude from Vegas shot it. I read on it.
Yeah, because
I can't answer it right now. So I'm sorry, y'all. I did have that answer.
Because I wanted one. If you can turn a semi-automatic weapon into an automatic weapon, why not get it?
You know
what
that
I mean?
was actually made for, I don't want to say handicap in case that's the wrong term. Somebody otherly
Disabled.
abled.
Disabled.
Okay, wherever we want to go. If you got one hand, you want to hold a weapon, you can't hold a rifle like this. So let me give you something right here. You can, so when it hits your shoulder, it causes the recoil, shoots it back forward, reloads. Excuse me, let me get towards the mic. Reloads and chambers a weapon. Chambers a bullet. Pow! Hits your shoulder, bounces back, chambers another one. It basically turns a semi into an auto.
And they illegalized it.
Only because of what happened in Vegas.
Oh, because
until then, the public really, some people knew about it. I ain't gonna say the public didn't know. Many people knew, but not the general public until the news put out, hey, this guy had a modified weapon. You already got a weapon that can shoot a bullet 600 feet per second. Why do you have to modify it? What you just created was a killing machine. That ain't for hunting. That ain't for house defense. That ain't personal defense. You made a killing machine.
But you got to think about it. The way the government has worked against us, weapons like that is necessary. I think it's needed. Shotguns, assault rifles. Like I saw the young man. I'm not sure what his name is, but he was on another podcast talking about financial freedom. What's the earn your leisure?
Earn
He was
Your
on
Leisure,
Earn Your Leisure. and he had tattoos on his face. But he teaches about being financially educated, but he also teaches about weapons, and his children knows about guns and stuff like that. I do not have a problem with that. I taught my daughter how to. What's his name?
Derek something, and the last name got to come to me.
Okay.
I'll get it before you know.
He specifically teaches his children about the importance of having a weapon and why it's needed. I think that's where we need to go. One, we need to be on code with one another. If you see something happening to your brother and the police are there, don't film it. Or do film it.
Do film it. Because they will lie.
Derek Grace.
Derek
Grayson. He made a financial board game pretty much for what you people have been conditioned to call the hood, but it's to teach us finances and stuff like that. And to make money, he says you got to stand out. So that's why he does a video with guns and his daughter with a gun and all that. So we got to create a video. Once we create a video that's like extreme, that's going to get us the followers. I've been researching rappers here lately the last week, and there's a guy NLE Chopper. He made some video and had over, I think, 54 million followers. I don't know if I'm supposed to be giving this game over the show or not, but right now I'm researching how to grow a lot of stuff. But apparently he had a bunch of guns in the video or something, but it had 54 million followers. So automatically his music sold millions of dollars because he got all the followers first. And I've been in rooms with these record label execs and stuff like that. They care about your following, just like with comedy. If you don't necessarily have to be the best stand-up comedian, but if you got enough followers, they're gonna put you in the club and they'll let you develop, but they want followers first.
Well, because they feel like, just like with any club, like you said, you have the ability to you have influence. That's what it is. If you have a certain number of followers, you have influence, and that means that that influence will garner you funds for those who support you and like what kind of content you're putting out. So at the end of the day, if a comedy club is going to hire you, it depends on your following. Like I'll bring up, what is it? You got DC Young Fly, and you have what's that young lady's name? I can't think of her name. Just Hilarious. Okay, those two individuals were internet famous on Instagram, and then they went back and forth with each other, garnishing millions and millions of followers. But then when you look at it, they weren't comedians. You know what I mean? But they were able to get, headlining spots at comedy clubs because people wanted to come out and see them. And that's it.
And the guy was on from the Punchline, and he was explaining I was on a thing with Faison and them earlier just listening, but he was explaining the club owner, him and Faison know each other for way back in the day. And he was like, the reason why they can come in and get the club is because they got people that are going to come, and those people don't even care about their performance that much. They just want to get a picture with their internet celebrity comedian. They respect them as an internet comedian. So, they talked about comedians that have been in the game and traditional comedians. We just gotta, we can do a show and we can do the stage. We got to get our social media jumping just as much as our stage performance thing. Because as you see right now, we can't just go do traditional stand-up. But a lot of people are still working and making money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we got to master this social media thing.
Yep. I was looking at, what is it? What's his name? Snoop Dogg. And Snoop Dogg has, I guess, a video that plays if you're looking at him, but you're not following him. Mm-hmm. And he talks about the video where he was with Suge Knight and his video with them. He also talks about his dealings with Master P. And how Master P, like he was with Suge Knight, he was like, yeah, we had houses or whatnot, but those houses belonged to somebody else. Or people really wasn't getting money in the rap game under Suge at the time. You was getting like a gold chain or something like that, but it was no money. But when he went to No Limit, he was like, everybody under No Limit was eating. You know what I mean? Regardless if they could rap the best or anything like that, all of them had houses, all of them had cars, all of them had something. You know what I mean? So I want to learn exactly what Master P told Snoop Dogg to help him develop, because you see what Snoop Dogg is now. Snoop Dogg has...
Snoop did an interview on that
right
about a year ago. He basically said that P broke the game down. He's like, listen, man, I'm not here to take your money. Suge was about power and control and taking their money and just giving them enough to survive while he capitalized. From outside looking in. I don't know the inside workings. I wasn't there. What Pete said was, I want all of us to succeed. This is how you do it. This is how you buy your house. This is how you buy your business. This is how you run your label. This is how you advertise yourself. He taught Snoop all that.
See, and that's what we need stuff like that for our community. I mean, if he was able to get Snoop to be able to get all of his homeboys right under, what was it, Dog Pound record labels and stuff like that, if he was able to help Snoop learn how to run the game, then there should be other individuals that'll help you learn the game. I think, what was it? Master P was dealing with another rapper, the dude with the golds in his mouth. But that's I mean giving that example.
Really?
It's like a bunch of them, right?
What's it,
So
Paul Wow?
it's like a bunch of them, right? But the dude had he was saying he helped him get some meetings, and he was like, "Well, listen, if I'm helping you get these meetings, and you're getting money from it, you know what I'm saying, there should be like pretty much like a founder's fee. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, listen, I'm helping you do this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should break me off 10, maybe 12%. You know what I mean? Especially if you're keeping like 85%. Me personally, that's a deal. Especially, you know what I'm saying? You don't get nothing
I'm
for
making
free.
money on the back end.
Right. You don't get anything for free from some people. You know what I mean?
If I could sit down with a millionaire or a billionaire and they say, hey man, I need $10,000. After I give you this knowledge, it's gonna be guaranteed you're gonna make at least $1 million yourself. 10,000 ain't a small sacrifice for that.
It's not. But what if it was I think in his situation it was all on the back end. It was like, okay, well, if I'm putting this deal together for you, you're going to get this money anyway. Just give me 10 to 15%. You know what I mean? Once the deal is complete.
You got to invest money to get money back from a stock.
Right. So
It's the same deal.
I'm like, yo, for real?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I see Master P right now with cereal, baking soda. My man can put together a small corner store with just his products, Rap Snacks. You know what I mean? So please explain to me, like, why aren't we listening? Master P was the first one who sold $1 million of CDs and stuff out of his trunk and had that whole particular area on lockdown where you had labels that couldn't get in there. They had to go directly to Master P. You know what I mean? So it's
that's so simple to answer on the music end.
Well, explain.
All right. Some of y'all may be familiar with the music game, some of you not. I'm gonna give you some knowledge. White corporate owners don't care about the hood. Very simple. They have their formula that they follow, just like if I do this beat at this tempo, it's gonna sell because people are so used to dancing at this tempo. They're only gonna let you perform to that beat so they can make money because it's already proven. They don't take risks because risk may cost them money, and they're not gonna take that chance to may lose some money.
That makes sense. That's why you got all of these mumble rappers out here. They're willing to.
The beats be fire. What's your boy from Atlanta that you always tease on screen? I mean, on the stage.
Who?
Timmy Turner, dude.
Oh, you talking about Designer?
Yeah. What the fuck is he saying? But his beats is fire.
That means anybody can make a beat. I mean,
Exactly.
anybody can make an album.
As I said, the beats are proven. That's what people move their ass to. That's what you playing in the club. That's what's gonna get you dancing. That's what's gonna get you in there dancing and buying drinks. All that shit is about making money.
That makes sense when you look
That's
at
the formula.
when you look at the past formula. What was it before? Speaking in reference to like female rappers, right? The formula as far as females making a whole bunch of money, the standard was Lil' Kim, right? But before Lil' Kim,
JJ Fad.
you had
Stetsasonic.
you had what is
Sister
it?
Soldier.
Right, you had
Come on,
Queen
I
Latifah,
keep
and
dropping
then what's the other young
MC
lady name?
Light.
MC Light.
The Brat.
Right. All of these individuals had lyrics. And I'm not saying Lil'
Yes,
Kim
sir.
didn't have lyrics, but Lil' Kim had lyrics and she added sex appeal on top of it. And her sex appeal kind of overshadowed the lyrics that she was saying. So now you fast forward
Shock value.
close to 20 years later and you have Nicki Minaj who did the exact same thing and she blows up. Not saying that Nicki don't have lyrics.
She's not up.
But I mean, look what she was selling, and then you fast forward now to today, and then you have Cardi B, and you have what's the other young lady with the yams,
Megan Thee Stallion?
Meg Thee Stallion. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you something. Because there was some people getting the females upset in the comedy group. Shout out, Daphne Springs was in the group meeting as well.
she's
But
funny.
the guy that came in there somebody, and it's from the Death Row family. They said, I think Snoop put out a video about saying the females are doing or too much sexual stuff on the songs. And the females were like, well, why is it a problem now? Back when you was doing it back in the day, it wasn't no problem and all that. But most of the males,
young and immature back then.
Most of the males are saying it's too much for the children right now. You're giving them too much information right now, and so I see it as this whole gender divide. So the black male can be against the black woman. That's what I always see first. Mm-hmm. But like I told them on there, I said I would rather hear a woman talking about taking something to the back of her throat or riding me versus somebody with that bust a nigga head open and kill this nigga and kill all that. I mean, I don't want to kill nobody who look like me, talk like me, and walk like
MJG.
me. You know what I'm saying?
Bust a nigga head to the white meat.
Now, they said that?
Yeah. I heard you niggas don't
I like the white meat.
Like me. I heard you boys want to fight me.
What was that one song they had? Bust a nigga head, move the club. That was my shit right there. Yeah, that was my.
So y'all don't mind the bust a nigga head? It's like too much work for me.
I'm mature enough to understand that it's just
don't really do it.
It's entertainment.
It's entertainment.
That's it.
I personally feel like it hypnotizes and conditions you to where if one person does something wrong, like you really gonna fuck them up. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you
it's
got
like
to.
If they not in your circle and you don't know them and they fuck around and do something to you, you gonna fuck them up because you've been pumping that stuff in your brain. So I'm like, that's why when I make my music, I'm trying to motivate you to be your higher self and, get along with everybody. Don't get me wrong. Somebody get out of line, you give them that work. Unlike we got jokes. We don't necessarily, it's like if anybody
Nate Robinson, that nigga.
Anybody get beef with me in the industry, let's get 2 mics and let's clown on each other. Or let's put on some gloves and get in the boxing ring. We ain't got to shoot each other. I get in the ring with you. You know what I'm saying?
But check this out. I can understand where you're coming from, but you have some real bitch niggas that are in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm being dead ass serious. I'm serious. It's some like you can go to a comedy show. You can go to a comedy show and the niggas act more bitchy than the bitches at the show. Clingy and stuff like that and all of this, man. It was like, dog, fucking stop. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that has happened to me, but I've seen it. I've seen it happen to like fucking like was it Bill Bellamy and fucking Joe Torre when they came here. Motherfucking niggas is like asking for. It's like, dogs, chill the fuck out. Why you acting so fucking extra? You know what I mean? So like, and that goes even to other motherfuckers, man. I mean, if I do a comedy show, and I usually am by myself, unless I'm with a crew or we doing the show together. But if it comes down to a point to where I'm by myself, if I don't know this nigga, I'm not standing next to that nigga. Because niggas be on bullshit. And that's real talk. I don't care what you say. I'm going to be looking at him and be like, yo, and especially like if I'm with you, David, and you bring up a nigga I don't know, I'm going to ask you, is he with you? You know what I'm saying? If you're like, yeah, he cool, because David will know. I'll be like, no, I don't even fuck with that nigga like that.
Right.
I don't know that nigga. That nigga can be on some real bitch shit.
Well, Leroy, that's one thing I like about myself. I don't have a lot of friends. So, like, if me and you building, like, how many people have I introduced to you over a period of time to where, like, yo, you need to be around this motherfucker in order to be around me? I never do that shit. But a lot of people do that to me. They like, you got to accept my homeboy. And it's like, y'all two vibe a different way. Y'all on a different frequency. I don't feel that guy's energy because, he's either riding somebody else's dick. He don't have his own shit. That's not my type of person to be around. Somebody who will point out, oh, nigga, I had one guy like, nigga, you don't know Kevin Gates, which I didn't know Kevin Gates. But he wanted to laugh and shit and be like, he don't even know who Kevin Gates is. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? Kevin Gates gonna give me no fucking money? What the fuck?
Why does that even matter? Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a motherfucker like that. It's like, I ain't got no time with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Or overly emotional niggas who don't even have the common courtesy to at least have a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't sit up there, like for an example, and I'll use this. If Chip watching, I'm going to use this as an example. When Chip said the first time we met, was at he saw me at a comedy show, right? But the first time Chip actually introduced himself was at Two Saints, and I was standoffish. You know what I'm saying? And Chip know it. Chip know I was standoffish or whatever. But it just took me some time because I had to be like, yo, who is he? You know what I'm saying? What he about? And all of this and this. And then I was like, all right, yeah, he cool. That's the way. But it took me almost like a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Of like being around Chip, different events and stuff like that. And it was like, bam. But that was the same way with you. You know what I mean? And I met Ed through you, but how long did it take for me to get close to you, Ed?
About a year.
Yeah, but it took me a minute for me to like, okay, so let me see what he about. You know what I mean? It's because niggas be scoping you out. Niggas get emotional. And that's what I don't like. I don't get emotional, especially if the first thing you do, if you hot at the head and you don't do no kind of investigation and shit like that. Niggas like that will get you in trouble all the time. That's why I was like, I stay away from that. I ain't trying to go to jail, but a push come to shove, shit gets stupid. You the first one that got to go. Okay. Shit. So that's just my take on it.
Church.
It be bitch niggas in the
Preach
world
tabernacle to 'em.
doing bitch niggas shit.
Right. And you can't be around no bitch niggas, especially if y'all finna go put a bunch of police in the station and shoot them and kill them. You need real niggas for that.
Right.
Word.
And my whole thing is that if I was going to do that, I'm gonna be real honest. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be real honest.
I ain't telling nobody to do that.
Yeah, no, we're not telling nobody to do that. But what do you say when it's hypothetically? Is that the word? Hypothetically, if it was to happen, something happened to mine.
I'd be in support.
And this is just my frame of thought. It could be the military in me or whatever. And my whole process of me learning from going to jail when I was in the military, right?
You too?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh shit!
But
No wonder we friends.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I learned that you let stuff play out.
Right.
That's one. You let it play out. If it came down to something happened between a cop and something happened with a mine, and one of mine get hurt in the process to where they can't live no more, and I'm not saying that that's the case, I'm gonna let the system play out. If that motherfucker gets off on some old fuck shit, you are not going to ever know that I'm the one that's coming after your ass. Because it's plain and simple as day. I'm not doing it with nobody. It's going to be planned out because I'm not trying to get caught, but I want to make you suffer. And if I can't get to you, bitch, you got a family just like I got a family. And you motherfuckers sit up there and say, okay, well, I'm scared to go home or whatever. Yeah, that's understandable. You scared. You shouldn't do the damn job. If you're fearful for your life, you shouldn't do the damn job. I seen motherfuckers who are not fearful for their life when they pulling over a white person. I seen a white dude a matter of fact, Tiffany Pineda put on her channel, a police officer, 2 cops was talking to a white dude. They asked him to get out. He said no.
I saw it.
Yeah, and the motherfucker then drives off with no bullets in his car or nothing. Damn, you didn't fuck the whole table.
You drinking? What the fuck? You done did shrooms? What the fuck? What's going on, bro?
Yo,
If they legal,
so all I'm saying is that, I even explained this to I explained, I was like, listen, motherfuckers ain't gonna ever know that it was me. And I'm not the one that's gonna sit up there and make a whole police station suffer, but it only takes one. Honestly, it only takes one. What was the guy who was in LA that was trying to do right that Dave Chappelle was talking about? That Bonner.
Hey man, don't go with Donner.
Or Blitzen. That bitch ass Blitzen. No, the cop who was prior Army
the brother they surrounded in the forest and lit the house up
and they said this is what they said they're gonna do. This is what they. Oh, Keita walked in, y'all.
Police in the house. They got a movie about your ass.
Yo, she gonna go see it with me. Shit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm hoping that she had a good day. We'll talk about it later.
Hey, can I ask y'all a question though about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
The guy you were talking about, I think he was prior Marine.
Prior Army.
It's prior Army?
Yeah.
Okay. He
or
had
Navy.
He had military training.
Right.
I don't know what you guys did combat-wise, but I know what I was taught. When you're in a theater, an operation, and something's going on, you have a commanding officer.
Right.
Hell or high water. If you're getting shot at, you do not return fire until you get that order because you can cause an international incident.
That is true.
Okay. 2, even if you getting shot at, your ass need to wait until you get that order. Number 3, whenever you come up to someone, they taught us there's a situation going on. First thing you do is get people away from it. I'll use the example of Tamir Rice. There was people in that park. That officer drove right up on Tamir. Oh, I'm scared because I'm too close. Boom, shot him. Okay, fine. Your first job was to clear the scene, make sure no innocent people get hurt. Second of all, you shouldn't have been there by yourself. You should have had backup. One, controlling the crowd. Two, you engaging the whoever. I'm not going to say Tamir was a bad kid or the enemy.
Is this the kid that got killed in the
Cleveland.
park?
Yeah.
The cop pulled up, got out, and shot him. Didn't even give the man kid a chance.
You pull up to somebody with a gun and you 3 feet from them, of course you fear for your life. You're supposed to stop, evaluate the situation, take control, clear the area, engage the person, calm them down. The officers in this video for this movie did not do that shit. The first officer that engaged had everything fine. The second officer come up all antsy. Oh, he reaching. Once you saw him reach, you could have told him to stop. Okay, fine. The kid didn't stop. Now you're justified to pull your weapon up. Don't just automatically unload. But you see the kid has a phone in his hand. At that time, holster your weapon. You see both hands. Ain't shit in his hands but a phone. Why would you unload on him? You had no fire discipline. The superior officer did not take charge of the scene. Both of them motherfuckers is culpable. And the system was wrong because they taught them to do that.
And you're right. What is it? From my understanding, they have, I think they changed it where the targets were black people. You had cops shooting at black people as targets.
Yeah, I've been to the range a couple of times. They have some interesting targets.
Right. So it's a training.
Yeah,
they say it's training, but at the end of the day, you just pretty much you're trigger happy. Sometimes you're there when you got the police that are in LA saying that you can get inside the gang in the police department by killing somebody.
Are in the police.
Right. Mm-hmm. So my whole thing is like, where's your safety supposed to come from unless it's from yourself? That's my whole thing. So I don't wait till somebody comes and does something to me or mine. I'm going to be proactive. I have weapons and I'm not scared to use them. And I was telling my wife, I was like, don't nobody want to pull their gun out. Nobody wants to. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to go home. But at the end of the day, it's not if you want to. It's whether or not if you have to. I think the Tamir Rice situation where the cop didn't even give chance for Tamir to even acknowledge his orders was fucked up. You know what I mean?
You don't pull up on a kid with a real or fake gun and stop your car 3 feet from him. You automatically put yourself in a situation of danger as the officer. You didn't even have time to evaluate to see if it was real, fake, a cell phone, or a Subway sandwich. I'm quite sure y'all read about the Subway sandwich.
The dude who was in what city was that?
I don't know.
The police officer said that the motherfucker was driving past with a gun outside of his car. So they followed his. Does this make any fucking sense to anybody? So you follow him
to his house,
and he's getting out. He's at his door. He has a sandwich in his hand, and you all open fire on him. That shit is fucking ridiculous. And as the other people's family, I wouldn't even, okay, like I said, I'll wait for the system to play out to see what the fuck happened, but you get the names of the officers, you find out where they fucking live at, because them bitches gonna have to get out of town.
I want that officer's name, I want that squad car, I want to know how many rounds his weapon fired, I want the serial numbers on the rounds, I want to see where his shells were policed and what they did with them shells afterwards. I want fingerprints. I want my lawyer to be thorough. Because ain't no way in hell you can follow a guy talking about his arm out the car and he got this look like a gun hanging out the car. First of all, don't nobody hold their phone
Cell
out the
phones
window.
out the window.
Okay. Second of all, you followed him to his crib. That means you saw him get out his car, sandwich in one hand, keys in the other, put the key in the door, then you unload on him. What the hell?
That it's annoying to me.
But they said he had a license to carry. It was on his person. Made a copy, put it in the glove box. And the gun was in the glove box when they said he had a gun.
So what did you hear anything negative about what happened? Because he doesn't have a record.
No, he's squeaky clean.
Right. So what they gonna do? And what's her name was squeaky clean too. I guess he had weed or smoked weed before
the teacher up in Minnesota, Castillo, the one that was sitting in the passenger side of the car.
Right.
And the cop
and the Asian cop or the little whoever was shot him in the car with the daughter in the back seat.
Yeah.
That pissed me off too.
Well, Leroy, I'm gonna change.
All of it pissed me off.
You know it's better be pissed off.
But I want
than
you to be
pissed
pissed off.
Right. So fuck them.
Well, Leroy, let me ask you: are you familiar with the Uplift movement? Like it's an app, and they got a newspaper in Jacksonville.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Are we gonna bring that guy on? I mean, or
I was trying
interview him?
to. I was trying to get his app to download on my
Okay.
phone. I want to see exactly what it details are.
Yeah, he took a good picture of me last night, and he said it's pretty much so you can replace Facebook and other social media, and he says it's black owned. So we'll have that. And
Well, I don't mind bringing, like I said, if anybody who watched the show, My Wife and Me, it's on YouTube. It's by Mars 3045. He produced that show, but Ebbs, who was the wife
She was
on the
there
show,
last night, too.
she brought it to my attention. So I've been trying to download the app, but for some reason, this new phone is not giving me all of the stuff that I need for me to be able to download. So did I do something?
I need to download it too. Also, shout out to B-Sun with the Culture Center off of Myrtle Avenue. I went there last night. I had an amazing time. I chopped it up with a few people.
Oh, that's
and-
right. He did have that because that was right after my event at One Bridge. People from One Bridge left One Bridge and went over to B-Sun spot.
Yeah, we had an amazing time. Awesome performers, and I heard people singing on the stage, and I thought I was a horrible singer, but these people act like somebody was jabbing a knife in their kidneys. And I should have went in to get a closer look, but I was talking to this goddess out there, was a photographer, filmmaker, and she does graphics, and I'm like,
What's her name?
I got it in my phone. Actually, her name Alexis. I don't know her last name. She's from Rhode Island.
Okay.
So, but she's moved down here, and she's got a lot of things that she's doing. She like to take pictures in nature. So you might be naked out there in a bunch of leaves, but she made the pictures look so nice,
I'd be naked in no goddamn leaves.
Oh, well, she likes nature,
Okay,
and she
well,
like
she
to make
like
real photos that's going to make an impact. So, I mean,
Hey, shit. Well,
yeah, I had an amazing time with all the people in good energy, and I got good feedback. It was just good energy,
yeah. What was it? I was gonna go, but after the show and everything, I guess it's because of my old age, man.
Right.
I put so much energy behind MCing. I was kind of like, you know how you get, especially if you enjoy doing what you're doing. Once I got done MCing, I was so burnt out.
Yeah.
I was kind of like done for the night. But what was it? What's her name? Latoya.
Oh, Goodman.
Goodman.
Oh, yeah, she's a good spirit.
Yeah, she had recorded it. She had recorded and took photos. She said she was getting started with that. So
I'm checking your damn leg because I can hear the.
Oh, you can
cord.
hear the clickety clicks. Oh,
Yeah,
I'd
I
have
can
to
hear the
take
cord
that out.
hitting the table.
Oh, damn, you ain't got to put me out there like that.
Well,
Shit.
damn it. I mean, it's going over the.
Like he's trying to rub himself on the Lolo.
Oh,
they
stuff, really?
They gonna think you beat
Really?
one off, bro. I
Yo,
mean,
well, both of my okay,
Clarence
they can't see
Carter.
my they
I'll
can't
be
see my
stroking.
hands. You see my hands
Yeah.
right here. But
automatic pocket pussy.
So, but
meat
she was there last night and she recorded the show for One Bridge. But she was the one who let us know about what was going on over at B-Sons.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of the individuals said that they was going over there after the show. But I'm not sure, did Infinite come back over there or what was it? I know I saw
Well,
Eric
DJ Monster was DJing it.
Right,
And,
but then you had poet.
we had a
Eric.
bunch of poets. Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah,
Okay.
Eric had showed up over
Yeah,
there.
he
Yeah,
got a different poet name.
Yeah.
But I was hanging out with King Travelite, my producer. So, I just been hanging out trying to soak up game because it's a whole new thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm trying to study the science of it and get everything down and kind of be around that artistic energy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wasn't going to go if he didn't go. You ever been like, well, I ain't going unless you go. Because it's like, I need to
like
learn.
what's the point, right?
Yeah, I need to learn. I need to be around people I can learn from and I can grow,
Right.
So,
I think I probably would have went if it was something that was already on my schedule to go to.
right.
So if I would have known about it, I was like, okay, well, bet once I leave, because like I know before, for anybody that know, I was trying to do like a comedy jump in Jacksonville because there's not a lot of open mics, but I was trying to go to one comedy spot, then I'll try to hit up downtown, and then from downtown I'll go to Candid Poetry to do some open mic there. I'm just trying to, because in New York and other places where the comedy game is big, you got multiple places you can go where there's an open mic and there's a crowd and there's an audience there, and you can hit up multiple spots before the night is over with. You can't do that in Jacksonville.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like you pretty much one and done. But I was trying to do that.
Kentucky.
I was trying to do that here in the city. So, but if I would have known that B-Sun had something going on after our event, I would have definitely been prepared mentally to go. At least let the missus know, listen, I'm gonna be going to this other spot. But I didn't know about it until later, until it was too late. So, but I heard it was good though. I saw photos and stuff. He had like a bonfire and everything, right?
Oh yeah, man. I wish I would have got over there earlier to look in that flame. I know with the goddess that I be on with, that's a priestess. She actually did a thing Friday night, and she was burning this fire. And she said, "Y'all look at the bottom," and it was a cloud of smoke moving around the bottom of the fire, like there was actually a spirit like floating around under the fire. And I was like, "Damn, that's amazing," because you never think to look down below where the fire is burning. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff out there. If we slow down and we take our time and get in tune with ourselves, we will see more. You know what I mean? We just so fast paced, we don't take time to slow down and look at things.
Oh, okay. Ed, you got that? Oh,
Yeah.
All right. So, to end the topic of conversation, I think the movie is going to be a pretty decent movie. It's going to have a lot of information in there as far as how black people are feeling and where it can go. I think a lot of times white folks really need to see what could possibly happen before it happens. I know, has anybody seen the movie or at least the what is it, the trailers for a movie called Cracker?
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
I've heard the name. I just didn't see it.
Yo,
It
for
popped
whatever
up on Amazon.
for whatever reason, I want to see that too, because it's like they flipped the
part two gonna
script
be
on
ass cracker?
slavery. I don't know.
Oh, that's got to be a sequel. Ass Cracker.
They flipped the script on slavery. A guy goes back in time. It's kind of like back in the day where they had a movie called Brother Future, where the guy was from the future, but he ended up getting hit by a car, and when he came to, he was back during the period where we were placed in chains. But I'm not sure how this white guy ended up getting pushed into another dimension. He ended up getting pushed into another dimension where the roles are reversed. White folks are in the slavery position, or they're not the dominant society. It's black folks. who
Yeah,
are
I
the
seen a
dominant
trailer
society.
on that. Is that show actually out?
It's called Cracker. I'm not sure if it's out or not. I've seen in the trailer, man, it was so much that was going on in the trailer where you see one of the black slave masters raping the white woman. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that that's cool, but I'm just saying it shows stuff in there, like the black guy pointing the gun at the white dude's face when he first gets there, and he's telling people, man, it's not supposed to be like this. But you're in a situation where it is, so either you deal with it or get done. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's definitely an eye opener. It's movies like that scare the dominant society, like if it possibly could happen. I think that's what they really are afraid of.
Yes, sir.
Is that happening? You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the reasons why they're pushing out all this COVID-19 vaccinations and stuff like that to try to depopulate. You have people like, even though Joe Biden had won, Joe Biden even said the vaccinations were for predominantly black and brown people.
Motherfucker.
You know what I mean? Or he said they're for the impoverished, and most of the impoverished are black and brown people. That's not the case. If white people are the majority here in America, more of them are going to be impoverished than we are.
Right, but Leroy, they put out a thing saying that if you didn't take the shot, then they would cut your funding, like HUD funding, like they said those families. So we know those that
I'm gonna need that in writing.
I saw it on writing, but somebody could have made that up.
No,
but-
I mean not from you, just because I work with the government and in a hospital, so I need to know what they're doing because as a hospital worker, if I don't get the shot, is there gonna be some ramifications for me?
Well, I always thought that you was protected by the Supreme Court. Now I understand
Man,
that the
please.
government ain't
They
full
tried
of
to
shit.
fire me because I didn't want to take the flu shot. What you think they're gonna do for COVID?
Well, I'm thinking if you specify, because typically they can't fire you for that because
Yes,
it's
they
been
can.
already specified that vaccinations are inherently dangerous. You can't avoid; they have side effects to them, and you can either and for COVID-19 is 98%. It's recoverable by 98%. So why are you forcing vaccinations for like trying to
Legal
prevent 2%?
liability loopholes.
No, I think it's more than that.
If I have it and I give it to a patient, that patient can sue. So let's control me, force me to get it so I can't get the patient sick. Now I get that. I work in the hospital. Sick people come to the hospital, they want to get better. Now we're gonna flip this to that Blue Lives Matter. Cop goes to work, they don't want to get shot, so they go home. You come to my hospital, get me sick, I want to go home. How about we both get the shot?
No, I'll get the shot once they show on TV some of the members of legislation getting the shot.
Amen.
Because you're not about to fucking shoot me with no dumb ass shit. Yeah. Shit fucking had me turn into a goddamn gremlin out this bitch. Hell no.
Now, I know there's some black racists out there that will actually take solace in this statement. The Europeans were given the shot first. So if anything happens, they're actually giving it to Europeans before they tested it on us in America. Because a lot of African Americans are a little hesitant to get inoculations because of what happened in Tuskegee.
Agreed. All of the tests that they did. But I mean, look at it like this. I think the vaccinations,
and just let them walk around.
The vaccinations were actually given to, Africa first through like the Bill Gates and Marla Gates Foundation. Because he's the one that's really pushing this vaccination thing.
He has been.
But what makes you the health provider for the fucking world to take this?
He's
because
rich and he got a voice.
Right, but what is it? I got video that I'll show, and I'll go ahead and we can probably make this a topic for. Well, no, there's not going to be a show next week.
That's New Year's after that.
Right,
3 weeks.
Yeah, so we might not have another show after this one until after the new year has come. So you're looking about like 3 weeks before we come back. Risky Styles said there's no black racists don't exist.
Oh, really?
You want to go ahead and explain why you feel differently?
I know the definition of racism. I know the tenets of racism. No, we can't do that. But we still have a hatred for the other man, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into we don't have the ability to impoverish people. We don't have the ability to control their money. We don't have the ability to. I get that. I know the whole definition. Woosah, please.
Uh-oh. He said woosah. Take a breath, goddamn. But nonetheless, I think we're going to have to look at this film and look at white people after we look at this film. It's kind of like Roots.
No, they need to look at themselves after watching this.
No, it's kind of like Roots. No, because we saw Roots, and after Roots, all black people wanted to fuck white people up. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think honestly, I don't think white people are just gonna go out and look at this film.
This needs to be taught in school.
I agree. It's just a training lesson.
And not police academies. I mean schools at elementary age, so both white and black children and any other minority in America can actually see the system of racism that is cultured through policing, that the rules are written to make racist police behave this way. Some of those white officers generally are not racist. They have to follow racist rules to get their paycheck. They don't want to be unemployed, just like I don't want to be unemployed. I'm gonna make a deal with the devil with that one. Do I do these crappy things to these people I don't want to, but I have to make my money, and I just live with it? Or do I say something and lose my job? Now, after this show goes off, I'm going to give y'all a little tidbit. I have a friend that was in law enforcement. Some stuff happened to them. I won't specify their sex.
Okay.
But yeah, they were the one that actually spoke up, and basically the bully pulpit took effect. The city fired her. Not said her, now the cat's out the bag. A lot of shit happened.
Okay.
That was negative, and it's basically they retaliating against this person.
And then I think that's one of the reasons why good cops don't speak up when they see bad cops doing shit.
This one did, and the Lord has blessed her thereafter. So, thank you.
All right then, yo. That's in reference to the topic of today. If you have any comments, please email them to us at signal27radio at gmail.com. You can go ahead and email it to us there. If it's something that is profound or that we might need to share, we might hit this topic back up again at a later date. But nonetheless, it's a problem, and it's good that Spike Lee has stepped out to actually create this movie. Nate Campbell, I think that's his name. Is it Nate? Nate.
The boxer?
No, Nate.
That's Nate Robinson?
No, is his name Nate Robinson?
No.
Nate Parker.
Nate Parker is the guy who
that made the film? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Nate Parker. I know it's one of them Nates, goddamn.
You say boxing, Nate just got knocked the fuck out. Rest in peace, Tony Lister, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Rest in peace there. And the woman who played in BAPS.
Yes.
She had passed away from a type of cancer, which is fucked up.
Along with the COVID.
Yep. So
COVID is real.
Yeah.
Stop denying it. Wear your motherfucking mask. You too.
I need to wear mine then, goddamn. Because I don't wear mine. Shit. I go out there and be like, shit, if I don't want them to stick that shit up my nose. If they said that's what I got to do, then shit, goddamn it, I got it. I got it. I got it. So, moving on before we do so, just one moment. The next topic of discussion is going to be this week in comedy news. We'll be right back with you.
Hey, y'all, this the
Hey, everybody, it's the bad girl of comedy, the original bad girl of comedy, Lou Nell, here in hot and sunny Los Angeles, California. But guess what? I know this. You're not watching or listening to anything if you're not checking out Signal 27 Radio, baby, all day. Stay there.
Yo, what's up? It's comedian TK Kirkland. You listen to Signal 27 with this fly nigga in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? It's comedian Shang, at comedian Shang, and it's Signal 27 in the building all day.
Yo, this your boy Earthquake. Listen, man, Signal 27 is the #1 podcast for live comedy in Duval. And it's your boy Earthquake. I'll be on it, but you need to listen now. But I'm on it now. #1, Earthquake. That's what's happening.
All right, y'all. Who on the phone, David? Who calling?
Who it is, probably one of these. See?
Turn your
That
ringer
man
down,
said
man.
this is Liberia. You getting calls from Liberia, nigga.
Hey, that might be a business venture.
Hey, V. Yeah, you're right. I apologize, V. Yeah, I should wear a face shield or something, but with that in my glasses, man, I be trying to breathe and shit. Next, you know, I walked up. Yeah, I get, man. What is it? I fed the homeless the other day. Shout out to Jen Weeks with the blessing bags. I went out there and I was handing out blessing bags to the homeless. And you know what I'm saying? And you know, I had my mask on, but it was real hard to breathe, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
Duval, who doing that?
That's Ashley. That's the mother of dragons, Ashley Collins, right there. Next topic of discussion that's coming up, like I said, this week in comedy history, brought to you by none other than Ed the Fabler, or just the Fabler.
There he go again, name dropping. All right, y'all. Last week I said it was going to be one per week. I lied. I got another duo for you. Two things that are very important in comedy history this week. One, I'm going to give a shout out to the goddess, Monique, goddess, which is for you, Dave. She was born on December 11th, 1967. So this week was her birthday. She is officially 52 years old. And my second, which is, I'm gonna take some heat for this one, but I'm going to say it anyway. One of the funniest comedians in history was born on December 18th. I'm sorry, I misstated. It's not born on. One of the funniest comedies in history on December 18th was performed by Eddie Murphy. He did Raw on December 18th, 1987.
All right, bet, yo.
Yeah.
V said turn into a gremlin. I'm going to give a shout out to V. I think I might have, I just might have. I put together, a video. Chip is not feeling good. For whatever reason, but I reached out to Chip. He said he's doing okay. But I'm probably going to reach out to him again, V. But I don't want to turn into a gremlin. You know what I'm saying? I prefer not to turn into a gremlin. And then she said Raw was her favorite. Raw, would you consider Raw funnier than Delirious? I'm gonna have to watch them both again because I thought
the
Delirious.
shock value of Delirious, damn. Which one was the one with the boomerang shoe? Was that Raw? Talking about his mama hit him from the other room with the shoe.
That might have been Delirious.
Which one was about the I got some ice cream?
That was Delirious too.
Delirious is funny.
Yeah, so that's the red. Delirious is the red leather, and Raw is the black leather.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, so who was that? I got to go back and watch them. No, fell down the stairs. Yeah, what was that? Aunt Bunny. Aunt Bunny was Delirious too. Fell down the stairs, and how Uncle always want to have a cookout and burn the fucking fire. You know what I'm saying? So, that's right. I mean, as far as Eddie Murphy, I think he's one of the few who have plateaued from being just a comic into like mainstream doing his movies. I think his funny movie probably is the Clumps, when he played all
the
four
Nutty
of them
Professor.
People. Yeah,
I don't know,
that
man.
And what is
I
it?
kind of like the Beverly Hills Cop series.
I was about to say that, but I didn't like Beverly Hills Cop after Beverly Hills
Nick
Cop
Nolte?
2. What are you talking about? Not trading.
Not
places.
Nick Nolte. That was 48 Hours.
Yeah, it was 48 Hours. But Trading Places.
Yeah.
Trading Places was the shit. I kind of like Trading Places.
I like all his movies equally except for Vampire in Brooklyn because, that just basically had one line for me. Ass is good and evil is good. The rest of the movie kind of sucked.
I thought it was okay.
Okay.
Well, when he turned into the
pastor?
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn, this hair on fire. Oh, goddamn, anybody don't believe. Let's go outside.
But then what's the name said, did you see the goddamn dog? It was a fucking wolf dog. He was flip-flopping and shit.
You got
That's
the
my
drops,
shit.
son. Your hand fell off.
Yo, so it had its moments, But I say probably. What was your favorite, Dave? When you get off the phone?
Yeah, I want to apologize because I'm over here trying to make all these types of connections, and
do it, man.
I didn't even hear the question, but I want to say real quick, crowded streaming. I was in an A&R room for record label execs and stuff like that, and they gave out this platform. They said it's black owned, and like you can put your name, your artwork, and then your MP3, your files or whatever, and they say they will start cutting you a check as you streaming. So and there was artists on there vouching for this guy. He's been in the business for a while, and it's an app you download. So I asked him about.
Is this another app?
Is
this another Apple app?
I asked him about the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think it's regulatory to Apple. And don't get me crossed up on words, But I asked him about putting the podcast on there, and he was like, sure, they have their own genre and they're welcome, free promotion and support applies to you guys as well. So
what's the
hopefully
app?
you can look into it and see if it's a money opportunity because we need money so we can do more stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Crowded streaming, CROWDED streaming.
Yeah, text it.
And
text
I know
it to
you'll
me.
look into it, investigate it.
Yeah, as long as they require me to give them my RSS feed, I can give them the RSS feed for the show, and it will automatically get uploaded to their platform. If that's the case, I just need to do that. But yeah, text it to me, and that way I'll go ahead and look into it tonight. Today's show is going to be pulled tonight and be uploaded tomorrow, so you can always check it out on your favorite podcasting platforms. Also, we live everywhere. We everywhere live. So this has gone out to iTunes. This has gone out to YouTube. It was on Facebook. We got a lot of people that was in the chat that's on Facebook. Also, YouTube, Periscope. Shout out to those who was watching on Periscope. And then also, what was it? Instagram. So we've been doing a lot of things. Baby steps have been coming in, but I'm hoping to do a big upgrade soon, probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks. The show might look a little different when next year hits. So is there anything that you all want to plug before we go? In the ass. Don't plug it in your ass.
I don't want to plug nothing, but hey.
I wasn't thinking of mine. Or any guys before you say anything. Go ahead.
Oh, well, my single officially is released tomorrow on the 14th. It was supposed to be the 13th, but at last minute, they hit me and said it can't be until the 14th. So it's titled Builders, and it's an anthem for people that build and create, such as yourself, Mr. Leroy, and the Signal 27, and Denirium as well. You're a builder. Anybody that has that builder and creator mindset, this song is for all the people that build and create. So that will be streaming on like Apple and Spotify and all those places. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. Ed, you got anything you want to plug?
Always. We're going to hit everybody with this. It's DANNERIUM. Denirium. Put that in YouTube. Go watch the videos. I have 3 different sections of that. One is just me, the favorite comedian, performing. The next is going to be Denirium Presents. Under the Presents title, you have a whole bunch of mixed drinks. I show you how to make shots, drinks. Some of them are alcoholic, some of them are not, so they're kid-friendly. And now we have You Done Fugged Up. Not F-U-C-K, it's F-U-G-G. So you go to Denirium, type in You Done Fugged Up, and you see people doing some really stupid, you done effed up. So go ahead, enjoy, laugh, and check me out.
Okay, right. Chip is not here, so I'll go ahead and let you all know that Chip does have a shirt that you can purchase. It's called Halfway Baptized. On Facebook, if you go to Facebook and look up Big Chip, you can go ahead and send him a message and let him know you would like to get a shirt. I do believe they're like $20, but you won't be disappointed because you'll definitely get some head turns, people looking at you talking about you're halfway baptized. Believe you me, I know. I like to wear the shirt just to see what people say, especially if you're going to the church. Pastors don't like that. You halfway baptized, why you lukewarm? I ain't say I was lukewarm. I'm 50. You know what I'm saying, something, bitch? But it is what it is. But for me, I'll give y'all a brief synopsis. There's probably going to be an upgrade to the show within about 2 to 3 weeks. That's one. Two, the show is going to have its own, what do you call those? Like a Shopify store to be able to purchase and support of any of the merchandise that we have. That's the first 2 shirts is going to be the Signal 27 shirts with the emblem on there, and it's also going to be We Are Signal 27. Those shirts will be the first 2 shirts to help support the podcast. After that, there's going to be an attachment of Flag Fall apparel. That's going to be the Signal 27 line. Flag Fall apparel is going to be for the young kings and queens. You're going to see all of this happening within the next 3 weeks. When we come back, I should be able to have some photos and pictures and stuff like that of what you are able to purchase to help out with the show. Also, please like, comment, share, and continue to support, because we are Jacksonville's #1 live comedy podcast. You want to know why? Because we are Signal 27.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in. Y'all have a good night. Scream like that.
I didn't mean for the yell to be that high like that.
All right, y'all. Good night.
Thank you.